Okay, so we could leave it like that, but something cool that I figured out how to do is if I take, I'm going to draw a curve. So what I want to do is take the pen and draw one here, and one over here. And what I'm going to do when I click, I'm not going to just click and let go. I'm going to click and drag it out so that I make it have some kind of a curve to it. And then uh, double click. And it doesn't matter that I have this weird wonky curve right now. I'm going to take this edit path tool over here, and to fix my curve I'm going to make it um, fit more what I want it to look like. I can use these handles to change how it bends here, so flash and this in the middle. Okay, and if I select away now, you'll see how that's kind of a curve. It's not perfect, but whatever. Okay. I'm going to just make this text box a bit bigger here. And you can see I've actually made my line the wrong way up. So all I'll do is flip it over. So that was object. There's some tools here to flip, rotate, etc. And then now I'll pick the fuzz. And actually I think what I should probably do, I'm going to stretch this out a bit to make the curve a little more gentle. So I'll pick that, I'll pick this, holding down shift, clicking on the both with the picker selected, and put on path, and there it's bent the fuzz. Now it's not perfectly straight, but whatever. I'll click on it and I'll change it to rotate, and just rotate it around a little bit there till it's more, fits the curve of the knob there a bit. And if I take, you can see it's overlapping a bit there. If I take the selector and select it, and I can push some more distance between the letters themselves, the F and the U apart. And now what I got to do is hide this line, because if I delete it, the fuzz won't be bent anymore. But you don't want it to print out. So all I'm going to do is make the stroke color white. Oops. So all I'm doing there is dragging this little circle down into the white corner of the color there. And then it's gone. Okay, so the last thing I guess we'll do is put the little words here for your DC and your in and out jacks, and I like my DCs on the left for some weird reason, so there it is. And yeah, so to do that, I guess first we can create the text that we'll need. So let's just make we're going to need in, and it's a little bit smaller. I don't know why you would make a font and not make any numbers in it. Okay, so now we'll copy and paste this. Copy and paste this, Control C, Control V, and take the text tool. We want to turn these now, so object rotate. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to put them on the line right over the X so that I know where I want to, because I'm going to break this line, right, so that you can read the text. And okay, now to break the line on this rectangle that we have around the outside, I'm going to select it, and it's a rectangle object right now. We want to make it a path, so object to path, and then when we use the path editor on it, we can add more nodes and break it up. So the first thing you want to do, I'm going to zoom in here around the in here. We're going to click on this line. This is going to select this segment. You can see from here, this yellow node to here, there's a straight line. It's after the curve, so that's one big long segment. And up here is insert new nodes into selected segment. So it's going to put one in the middle here. That's fine for now. We need another. We need two nodes to do the chopping piece. So we're putting another node now in the middle of this one, and then we're going to zoom in. And now we just need to move the nodes to around the in. And here I'm definitely going to use the Y up here to move this down, because I'll never be able to keep it straight left to right as I if I try and drag it or whatever. Okay, so there, let's say, and then this one will move up. Okay, and then now I'm going to select this segment in the middle here. We'll cross it over the in, and hit this button up here, delete segment between two non-endpoint nodes. There we go, chop chop. Okay, so I'll do the same thing here. Add another node in, and pick this segment down, add another one in, move them into position. Chop this piece out. Okay. So there. Okay. And that's pretty much it. And then, so we have a basic, pedal. So yeah, now when it's time to print, just hide the template. Or even, I suppose the smarter thing to do would be to put the knobs on their, or the knob cutouts on their own layer. This. Because then when it comes time to print, you can just hide the knobs and leave the cross marks. Oh, but that's also got the outline of the box on there. Anyways, you can fiddle around with that a little bit more in the layers, and leave your hash marks on there to help you line it up with the drilled out pedal box. And so yeah, and then you can export this now as a bitmap, right? Like, well, I mean, you could if you have a printer, you could print directly from here, and right, I don't have a printer hooked up right now, or you could export it here, and make sure, you know, be a good idea to, if you can, to increase the DPI here, so that you're giving yourself a really high resolution image. So say, you know, you have a laser printer that can print at 300 DPI, you would just change this to 300, and then just hit export there, and well, you'd have to pick a place to put it, and yeah, and then you could stick that on a, you know, print that off wherever. Alright, well, that's it. Yeah, if you guys have any questions, post